So PARTYNEXTDOOR released the official video for his track Loyal featuring Drake, which by the way I do enjoy the track The News a lot more than I actually do enjoy this track Loyal. I understand at the same time he's trying to go for that dancehall type of sound to try to actually gear towards a more general audience, but when it comes to the track The News, that's the type of style we like to listen to when it comes to party. That's the type of mood and vibe when it comes to that dark type of instrumental and that laid back type of track that I actually gravitate towards. Probably the majority of his fans, to be honest. But I'm not actually here to talk about the video. I'm here to talk about how, to me personally, I feel like Party has to release a great album. Definitely has to release a great album, because to me there's no excuses. At this point, it's been over 2 years. You've had the time. Drake even said on the interview with Tato, which by the way I actually find kind of funny the way it's a Tato interview, but Drake gets to put it on his YouTube channel. But that's a whole different type of topic. I just find it interesting. Like, you get to know how actually a big an artist is when he actually gets to do that. But when it comes to Party, we understand that Drake has given him the time. Nobody's rushing him. It's been over two years. And you definitely have to come with the best project you possibly can. Like, you definitely have to come with a great project. There's no excuses. We know you can release great projects. We know the type of sound you have, the type of sound we enjoy listening to. And I just feel like if you're going to come with this type of album that actually has these type of tracks sounding more like Loyal, and these tracks like The News, it's going to be like a mid-level type of album. And that's definitely not what we want to actually listen to, given the time we've waited for Party to actually release a project. So I definitely don't want it to be the case where it's actually a mid-level type of album after waiting 2 years for a PARTYNEXTDOOR album. But he did say on January 4th we drop in, and then it actually took all this time. We're already on January 22, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, January 22, to release the Loyal official music video. It's actually like a claymation type of video. But when it comes to that, it's interesting to see the time frame and the timeline overall, because there's something else on this I can't even speak now, bro. Like, what the fuck? On this equation, because it's interesting to see, like, the moments Party keeps dropping, the weekend keeps dropping. And I'm like, okay, something is happening right here. And shout out to Joe Budden from the Joe Budden podcast, because he definitely paid attention to this. I listen to the podcast, of course. I'm a big fan. But when it comes to the timeline and just the way, think about it. Party released The News and Loyal, 2 tracks, right? The weekend releases Blind Lights and Heartless at the same time. And I'm over here thinking to myself, it's probably a coincidence. But then when you actually look back, this has happened previously where they actually released very closely. I think it was 2016 that Joe Budden talked about. And honestly, I just kept thinking to myself, I don't think, honestly, The Weeknd is actually paying this much attention to PARTYNEXTDOOR. Like, he's probably focused on his project, given the images I've seen of him on Instagram, just working hard on the videos and on the music overall, and just on every other social media. But then I pay attention to the release of the official music video of Loyal, and then I see that The Weeknd releases the official music video of Blinding Lights, which, by the way, my reaction is already up because I already saw the video. I actually did enjoy the track more with the video, and it actually grew on me, but I still don't like it as much as Heartless. But think about that. Now this happens once again where PARTYNEXTDOOR releases his official music video and The Weeknd does it once again. I'm like, what the fuck is going on right here? Is there something out there, like a mild beef, like some slight outlining where you're actually doing this on purpose? And it actually feels like that at this point, because it's like too many coincidences. I'm not gonna be like, I don't know, it's just a coincidence, it's just a casualty. Like, I don't feel like at this point it's a casualty. And think about it, The Weeknd would have been PARTYNEXTDOOR had he signed with OVO, because this current situation where PARTYNEXTDOOR is in, which actually brought a lot of jokes previously, the way they were talking about how Party pretty much is in the OVO sweatshop, writing lyrics for Drake's next album, which I did find funny, but at the same time, we understand Party's actually working on his music. It just feels like his priority is in other points, in other places. But that would have definitely been The Weeknd had he signed with OVO. So now that I actually look at this feud right here, what I understand to be something that is no longer a coincidence, it's interesting to just see how every time Party actually releases a track, The Weeknd drops 2 tracks. When PARTYNEXTDOOR drops The News and Loyal, then he drops the Loyal official music video. The Weeknd drops the Blinding Lights official music video. And this has actually happened previously with projects. When PARTYNEXTDOOR released a project, The Weeknd actually did release one around similar time frames. So it's just interesting to me that I think about it back when The Weeknd was actually writing lyrics for Drake with Take Care, and it was actually more of a close situation, OVOXO, which, by the way, Drake did talk about on the Tidal interview, that he's actually in a more closer and a better situation with The Weeknd at this point. He was actually giving props to EXO at that point in the interview, just talking about how The Weeknd has actually come this far. But would he have come this far if he was signed to OVO? I don't feel like he would be this big superstar, this big pop star in a sense, even though he does music that is not pop. But you get what I'm trying to say. He would probably be in the Party situation. And Party, for how big he is, because he even has 108k likes on the We Droppin' tweet. He's a big artist, but he's not at the level that The Weeknd is. And it's just interesting to me, like, is The Weeknd trying to prove a point about, hey, listen, I'm in a better situation because I actually went independent. I went with myself. I went with EXO not being attached completely to OVO. And you, on the other hand, are the artist that I would have been had I signed with Drake. And that's just crazy to me, because that could be definitely a possibility of how he's looking at it, because I feel like this isn't a coincidence at this point, and I feel like he's trying to prove a point that I'm bigger than you. So I'ma just, every single time you drop something, because I know it's gonna get more views, more streams, even if it's better or not to the audience that is similar, because they actually do share audiences, given that their sounds are very close. They're from Toronto, they're from Canada, they have that type of dark, moody vibe, eerie type of sound. And it just feels like The Weeknd is definitely doing this on purpose at this point. So that's even a bigger reason why I feel like Party, you have to release a great album. There's no excuses, because you took this time, more than 2 years. You have to release a great album, because when you drop, if you drop this Friday, bro, what do you think The Weeknd is going to do? What do you think The Weeknd is going to do? Because he's been dropping since November the same way Party has been dropping tracks. I don't think he's going to actually wait till February or March. I think he's going to drop in January. And if Party's actually going to drop this Friday, who do you think is going to drop? And who do you think is going to make better numbers? Because I feel like, excuse me, I'm sick, bro. But I feel like if Party releases on Friday, you know what's going to happen, since they share the same type of audiences, very, very overlapping audiences, very, very similar type of styles of music and sound. People are going to go first to The Weeknd. They might not actually go first to PARTYNEXTDOOR's project. And I want to listen to both projects, because I'm a fan of both artists. And that's the whole point of me actually talking about Party. You got to release a great album, because I want to listen to it, and I actually don't want to listen to a mid-level type of project. But who do you think I'm going to listen to first? My favorite artist, The Weeknd. So it's interesting to me, like, this whole thing actually might affect streaming numbers for the first week for Party. If that's the case, that this hasn't been coincidental, and The Weeknd is doing this on purpose, because if he actually releases it the same day that Party releases his album, then it's a wrap. It's a given. Like, you could definitely tell this was on purpose. Like, he's not doing this coincidentally, for sure, bro. But either way, let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. My nose is very, very bad right now. Like every single time I have some tough problems trying to breathe. Just like I went to the doctor, like I mentioned in the previous video. So hopefully I get better from that. But I'm trying to speak over this type of stuffy nose that I have currently. But either way, let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section, man. Subscribe for some of the reactions. Do you think it's actually gonna happen like that if PARTYNEXTDOOR releases his project on Friday? Do you actually think The Weeknd is gonna do the same thing just to try to prove a point? Because why else would he actually do that? I don't really understand why else would he do that. And he's in good terms with OVO Drake, but he might not actually be in good terms with Party. Maybe it has to do with something else. Maybe I'm way off, but I just find that interesting for sure.